Everything you think, everything you feel, every action you take is because of your beliefs and values. You may not be aware of it. You may not be conscious of it, but your values shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are going to have the first talk that has to do with the missing link value. She's passionate about young people. She's an inspiration to so many. I've known her for a very long time. She's a medical doctor. She's a writer. She's an author. She also motivates people all the time. And she's about to speak for the next 50 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Folasade Umukoro.
So thank you one more time, everybody. We did it 2 years ago, and we are appreciating you. We are doing it again. Thank you so much. So the missing link. The missing link. When you hear that word, the missing link, I mean, that sentence, that statement, what comes into your mind? It means that there was something that was present before. There was something that was in existence before. But now, that thing is missing. Okay? So when you say the missing link, that is what comes into my own head. Alright, so once upon a time, I want to believe we were told or we read that our country, our society was full of, it was peaceful, there was time, there was friendliness, there was security, and the nation was saved. But in these days now, what do we have? We have the reverse of those things. What do we have? We have, I don't want to start mentioning names. We must have read about a lot of scammers online, fraudsters, young people, defrauding people online. Okay? Insecurity. I talked about, before we used to have friendliness, but now people are no more friendly. Why? Even before, if you remember, for me, when I was younger, I do go to my cousin's place, but now nobody wants to send their children to anywhere because there's insecurity, there's rape. So everybody wants to just keep their children safe in their homes. So nobody wants to send anybody. So there's no friendliness. We have depression. And I'm not talking about what I don't know. I work in the emergency, I see people come with physical symptoms, but by the time you go deep into what is wrong with them, you find out that they are depressed. Young people are depressed. You see a lot of things on internet. You are oppressed by your colleagues, your friends on the internet. Okay, so we see examination malpractices. Students don't want to read again. Okay, so that is why our emphasis at Students Educational Ventures is that we want God to use to build students with education with moral base, building children with education with moral base. If you are educated, if you become whatever you want to become, an engineer, an accountant, a filmmaker, or anything, if you don't have morals, values, attitude, you will not go far. So that is one of our major, that's one of the major things that we are concerned of in Students Educational Ventures. Let me quickly give us this story. This story, we read about this story a few months ago about an 11-year-old boy that was rewarded by the chairman of First City Monument Bank Board, FCMB, Mr. Alege Balogun. That 11-year-old boy was rewarded, was given scholarship. Okay, what happened? They were having a football match, and the boy was hawking granules for his mother. And then he had groundnuts on his head, and the man told him that, take this amount of money, don't worry, just drop the groundnuts and then go. But the boy said, Sam, I can't go with this amount of money. How will I tell my mom? I can't go, I'll just take the amount, that is what the goods I'm having, then I'll give you the remaining. And Mr. Alege Balogun was so surprised. He had them to go and call. How many people read about the story? So that it won't be as safe. Okay, thank you. We have some people that read about that story. And he asked them to go and call the child's mother. And the mother was rejecting. She was afraid that, my child has done something very bad. What will I do? But he told her, no. Your boy has displayed good character. He displayed contentment. He displayed honesty. He displayed integrity. Do you know that assuming the boy has collected the money, maybe 10,000, I can't remember the specific amounts now. If he had collected that 10,000 naira, can you compare 10,000 naira to scholarship? Hello, students. Can you compare 10,000 naira? I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember the specific amount, but you can't compare it. But because he displayed that character of being contented, being honest that, Sam, I cannot, what will I tell my mommy? What will I tell them at home? Okay? So those are the value that we are talking about here that are missing. Okay? And this missing link is a very weak one. So that's what will now lead me to ask you to tell us what value is. We are going to look at it in two ways. When you talk about value, very simple. I'm not going to be giving you, highfalutin stuff, medicine. We are used to, giving all those jargons, but no need for that. Value just simply means something that is of worth, something of great importance, something that is priceless. That's one aspect of value. Then, value can also be seen as the principles of behavior. Okay? So two things. Values is something that is of great value, great importance, something that is of great worth, something that is priceless. You can't price it. You can't put price on it. I had the opportunity to discuss with some young people like you, and then in my mind, I thought the missing link that day was value. Like value is what is missing. All these different things we are seeing, if our children, if values can be instilled in them. And then I asked those children that day, I gave them different stories of what I read on the internet. I gave it to them that day, and I was asking them, and they began to tell me that, ma'am, Jesus is missing. Ma'am, it's the fear of God that is missing. Ma'am, it's bad home training good home training is missing here. And then I told myself that, so that means it's not just value that is missing. So being a Christian, of course, I agree with them that, I know we have Muslims and Christians in this gathering. I agree with them that Jesus is missing. So, but for our context here, we are just going to be emphasizing, value. So, and this value thing, it made me to just put up a few lines of a song together. And I'll sing it for us, I'll teach us, and I'd like us to sing it based on the definition I gave us. That is, I am the value, and I have value. I am the value, and I have values. I am the value, and I will walk in value. You get that? Meaning that our life is priceless. If you're a girl and a boy is just talking to you anyhow, you need to stand, have good self-esteem, and let the person know that I am value. You can't just, can somebody say that I am value? I am value. I am the value. I am the value. And I have values. And I have values. And I will walk in value. And I will walk in values. So nobody can just talk to you anyhow, because you are worth more than, is it millions, is it billions? You are priceless. You are priceless. You are of great importance. And then you now crown it up with having values. And those are the things that we want you guys to take home today. Okay, because of the sound. Those are the things we want you guys to take home today. Before I continue, I want us to sing. I'll sing that song again, and I want everybody to sing it. I am the value, and I have values. I am the value, and I have values. I am the value, and I will walk in values. Values we are talking about contentment, perseverance, patience. Maybe you don't have it, but as you are living here today, you are going to make up your mind that you are going to have value. So I want us to sing it like we mean it. It's not just because maybe I composed the song and I want you to really mean it, that I am the value. Even if you don't have values before, as from now on, you'll be intentional about values. You have values by God's grace, and you walk in values. So we are singing it 2 times and mean it. Sing it like you mean it. 1, 2, go. I am the value, and I have values. I am the value, and I have values. I am the value, and I will walk in values. One more time. Together for me. I composed the song. Alright, so where are these values from? I remember telling somebody yesterday about these events, and I'm telling him this is what we do. I'm like, so do you mean that all these things you work in them? You are patient? I said, yes. I said, and how did you come up with all these things? I said, it's not me. There's a Yoruba adage that says that me of myself. In a community, it is not only the parents that train the community, that trains the child, but the community. Okay? Then the other thing I want to say that any Igbo kon kokin da boshe, abi Igi kon kokin da boshe. So that means, apologies to those that are not Yorubas. You cannot form a forest with just a tree. So I was telling the person, it's from the communities I have found myself. Okay? We are talking about where these values come from. Okay? The first is that even from birth, do you know that there are some characters that you will see in some parents and you will see it in their children? Do you understand? That one has to do with gene transmission. Okay? You will see that a child, is wayward, and then you find it in the in one of the parents too. You find that a child is very patient, and they will say, ojo mommy, she's just like her mother. Okay, so and then the communities we find ourselves, our schools, our churches, our mosques. Now we are in the jet age. Online, we are in a lot of groups. So the groups we find ourselves, the community we find ourselves, will help us build this value. Okay, so make sure that you find yourself in good groups. If you're in any group and they're not doing things that are of value, please, what will you do? What will you do? You walk out of that group, okay? Because if you keep on being, if you keep on being in that group, you will lose your value. And there's something called peer pressure. There are some children that, as they are growing up, they were given good home training. But if you find yourself in a bad community, bad friend, bad company of friends, before you know it, that teenager will just, change to become a bad person. So those are where we build this value from our parents, from the community we find ourselves. Okay, so these values, we need to fix them into our lives, and that's what we did in the student's value card. The student's value card has 52 cards, but is there only 52 values that we have? Hello? Is there only 52 values that we have? So the assignment I'm giving to you guys is that I want you to go back home and you can just Google it. Examples of values. You will see a lot. And you will think you know them. When I gave some adults to play this game, they could not remember some values. They are much. So you will read them, then you will try and apply them into your life. I don't know how you want to do it. You just have to be intentional about it. Are you going to do that? You will write those values. Some of you, okay, if I begin to ask you now, just because of time, I have just 10 or 15 minutes. If I begin to ask you now that, oh yeah, start mentioning values, you start mentioning them, but are you really working in them? You start mentioning them, patience, integrity, and all the rest, but are you really working in them? That is our own desire, and that is why we made the student's value card. We don't just want you to know them, we want you to apply them. You know, my husband talked earlier on that we believe that if young people, if values can be instilled into them, it's going to reduce, we can't avoid corruption, but it's going to reduce it, okay? So we need to be intentional about it. I've already mentioned that there are some other missing links, but we are just emphasizing value as the missing link, okay? So please, I want us to embrace, and we have to maintain having values. You have to embrace it. I've talked about being intentional about it, writing them out, writing them out. Then, we made it 52 because we want young people to maybe pick one value and meditate on it for 1 week, and then apply it into your lives, and from there, our life better. Let us embrace it. It's not just for us to know it. It has to be maintained. If it is embraced and it is maintained, our society will be better. Do you agree with me? So please, guys, mommies and daddies, I want us to leave this conference with the mindset of, being a strong bridge. Our team is the missing link. But now I want you to go home with the mindset of being a strong bridge in that and not that weak missing link. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Let's take our song one more time. I am the value.